Who would win in an earth-shattering magical showdown, Marvel's Scarlet Witch or DC's Raven? This is one of the most requested battles, and today, we're diving deep to find a definitive answer. Both are incredibly powerful magic users, capable of warping reality itself. So, let's break down their powers, feats, and weaknesses to see who comes out on top. First, let's talk about Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. Her primary power is chaos magic, a force so potent it can rewrite reality. We've all seen the "no more mutants" moment, right? With just 3 words, she decimated the mutant population across the entire multiverse. That alone shows the sheer scale of her power. Chaos magic allows her to manipulate probability, cast complex spells, and tap into immense destructive energy. She can create force fields, teleport, and even resurrect the dead. Her power is deeply tied to her emotions, which can be both a strength and a critical weakness. When she's stable, she's a strategic and formidable sorceress. But when her emotions spiral, her control can falter, leading to unpredictable and catastrophic results. Over the years, Wanda has gone from a simple hex-casting mutant to the nexus being of the Marvel Universe, a living focal point for all mystical energy. She just stood against cosmic entities like the Phoenix Force and even absorbed the life force of entire dimensions. Her potential seems almost limitless, especially when she has access to sources like the Darkhold, a book of forbidden magic that amplifies her abilities to terrifying levels. However, her greatest feats often come at a great personal cost and are frequently driven by grief and instability. This emotional vulnerability is a key factor to consider. An opponent who can exploit her mental state might just find a path to victory. Now let's turn to the other side of the ring, Raven, the half-demon daughter of the interdimensional tyrant, Trigon. Raven's power is fundamentally different from Wanda's. She is an empath, meaning she can sense, absorb, and manipulate the emotions of others. This is a huge advantage against an emotionally volatile opponent like Wanda. She can calm people down, or she can overwhelm them with fear, pain, and despair. But that's just the beginning. Her primary offensive weapon is her soul self, a projection of her own spirit that can travel, interact with objects, and serve as a powerful energy construct. She can use it to teleport herself and others, create shields, and unleash devastating blasts of dark energy. What truly makes Raven a contender is her connection to her demonic heritage. While she constantly struggles to suppress her father's influence, she can tap into that immense dark power when necessary. We've seen her defeat her own father, Trigon, on multiple occasions, a being who has conquered entire universes. That is no small feat. She can manipulate shadows, stop time, and has even demonstrated reality warping abilities of her own, though perhaps not on the same conscious scale as Wanda's "No More Mutants" event. Raven's greatest strength is her incredible mental discipline. She has spent her entire life meditating and controlling her emotions to keep her demonic side in check. This gives her an iron will that is incredibly difficult to break. So, let's set the stage for this epic battle. Imagine a neutral dimension where both can unleash their full power. The fight begins. Wanda, likely acting on instinct, would start with powerful hex bolts and probability manipulation, trying to end the fight quickly. She might try to turn the ground beneath Raven to liquid or cause a meteor to fall from the sky. Raven, with her superior defensive instincts and precognitive flashes, would likely counter with her soul self, creating shields of dark energy or simply teleporting out of harm's way. This initial phase is a test of raw power versus refined defense. The real battle starts when they get into each other's heads. Raven, as a master empath, would immediately sense Wanda's emotional turmoil, her grief, her anger, her instability. She could try to soothe Wanda, but in a fight to the death, it's more likely she would amplify those negative emotions. She could force Wanda to relive her worst traumas, the loss of her children, the death of Vision. This is a dangerous game. An emotionally overloaded Wanda is a ticking time bomb of reality warping chaos. She might lash out with a universe-altering spell without even thinking. This is where the fight gets interesting. Can Raven's mental fortitude withstand a full-on reality warp from an unhinged Scarlet Witch? And can Wanda's mind withstand Raven's empathic assault? This is the core of the matchup. If Wanda says, "No more demons," would that be enough to erase Raven? It's possible. But Raven is not just a demon, she's a half-human, half-demon hybrid with a unique spiritual essence. Her soul self exists partially outside the physical plane, which might give her some resistance to reality alteration. Let's consider their peak forms. For Wanda, this would be her House of M or Darkhold empowered state. In this form, she can create entire worlds and control every aspect of them. For Raven, her peak is often referred to as White Raven, a form she achieves when she has purified herself of her father's evil influence and gained full control of her powers. In this state, she is a being of pure spirit and emotion, capable of channeling immense magical and empathic energy. A battle between Darkhold Wanda and White Raven would be a sight to behold, a clash between ultimate chaos and ultimate order. So, who wins? This is incredibly close, but I have to lean towards one victor. While Wanda's raw power output at her peak is arguably higher, her mental instability is a critical, exploitable flaw. Raven is almost perfectly designed to counter her. Her entire life has been a battle for mental control, giving her a level of discipline Wanda has rarely, if ever, achieved. Raven can attack Wanda on a psychic and emotional level, a battlefield where she has a distinct advantage. She could potentially pacify Wanda or overwhelm her with negative emotions before Wanda can utter a reality-breaking phrase. Even if Wanda manages to unleash a massive reality warp, Raven's soul self might allow her to weather the storm. She has survived the destruction of dimensions before and has the ability to traverse different planes of existence. She could potentially retreat into her own soul or another dimension to escape the initial blast and then return to face a potentially exhausted Wanda. In a prolonged battle, Raven's strategic mind and emotional control would likely outlast Wanda's raw, chaotic power. She can absorb the magical energy Wanda throws at her and turn it back on her. Her ability to disable opponents non-lethally by absorbing them into her cloak or knocking them out with her soul self gives her more options than Wanda's often all-or-nothing approach. Therefore, after analyzing their powers, weaknesses, and fighting styles, my verdict is Raven. It would be an incredibly difficult fight, and a single mistake on Raven's part could lead to her being erased from existence. But her unique combination of empathic manipulation, disciplined mental fortitude, and the sheer power of her soul self gives her the edge. She is the perfect counter to the Scarlet Witch's emotional volatility. What do you think? Did I get it right, or is Wanda's power just too much for the daughter of Trigon to handle? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more epic battles. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.